Welcome back to the channel. My portfolio is up 16% year to date. I'm currently beating the global index by almost 13 percentage points. In this video, I will walk you through my 25-year trading experiment. What is it, why I started it, and also how it's going so far. If you're into trading, especially with a long-term perspective, this video is for you. My name is Gustav. I'm also known as Trader Gu. I am a part-time equity swing trader, and I am documenting my journey with high conviction trades, market insights, and lessons learned. Let's dive into the experiment. So I have decided to invest 10,000 Swedish kroner, which is roughly $1,000. That will be split in two different portfolios. One will be an actively traded portfolio, and the other one will be my passively invested portfolio, where I will be putting the money to work in a global index fund. And the idea is to compare these two portfolios to each other. I will be making contributions on the 22nd of every month, and I will be tracking my performance from 2025 all the way to 2050. And all of the trades that I'm taking, I am currently sharing that on my X profile. And you can follow this experiment both on my X or Twitter. It's on my website, tradergu.com, and also, of course, here on YouTube. The reason I've decided to track my trading performance in such an experiment is because I have other portfolios. I've been trading them for years. But I thought it was really interesting to think that you would have a portfolio starting from scratch, adding money, and then have a super transparent way of tracking how you are doing compared to the market. Because if you go directly to any index fund or S&P 500 and you look at the chart, and you can see that you have a monthly or yearly performance, that doesn't really give you a good idea of how you would have done if you have deposited money to that index fund or S&P 500 during that time. So I wanted to have a very transparent way to evaluate how I am doing. And ultimately, I wanted to do this in order to become a better trader. On top of that, I'm also sharing my journey with all of you here on YouTube. And the reason for doing so is that trading, I've been trading for years now, and trading is quite lonely. I don't have that many friends in my community that is into trading or investing in the same manner as I am. So I'm doing this in one way to start building a community of like-minded traders. I'm interacting with fellow traders around the world every day on X. And I also believe if you're sharing your knowledge, I believe that would be good to help others, but also you're improving the way that you're improving yourself. Like if you're not able to explain something in a simple manner, maybe you don't know it as much as you thought you did. So that's my experiment, and that's why I'm doing it. And another reason is also, if you look at there are many interest calculator that you can find on the web. I might add a link to one of these in the description of this video as well. But generally, like if you are investing $500 in one account and you keep doing so for 25 years, and if you're estimating that your yearly yield would be around 7%, that would actually add up to around $400-something thousand. But if you can even be a little bit better than the global index, let's say 10% or 15%, that will have a significant impact on your performance. So even if you go from 7 to 10%, like the future value will go from 400 to 670 or even higher. So I think it's really interesting that how such a small difference in percentage of your performance every year can have such a huge difference at the final or the end results. And I don't expect to beat the index every year, but generally I'm quite confident with my trading ability, and hopefully it will go better than the index over a longer term period. We have to wait and see. For the passively invested portfolio, I have decided to follow the Morgan Stanley MSCI All Countries World Index. There are two different indexes that I've been considering following. One is the World Index and the All Country World Index. The main difference is that the World Index does not include the emerging markets, whereas the ACWI index is including emerging markets, and that's something that I would like to be positioned for. So that is the global index that I am using. Since I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden, I'm investing in Swedish kronor. I'm using a local broker in Sweden, and currently the index fund that I chose is called Storebrand Global All Countries. It's in SEK. That is something that is available on my broker, and that index fund is trying to follow the ACWI index. And it's funny because if I would be looking at where I started this experiment in the beginning of the year, I literally started at the absolute top all-time high of the market. And so far I have made contributions on the 22nd of every month for 6 months. And you can see that we have this high volatility in the beginning of the year during the Trump tariff news events. And you will see it in a few minutes. But this passively investing portfolio, currently it's up around 2.9%. But if I would have invested all of these deposits at the beginning, I would still be in a drawdown. So the dollar cost averaging, or DCA, can actually be a very powerful tool when the market is going both up and down. So that will also be something that I'm looking forward to follow, to see how I am doing with the DCA portfolio versus just lump investing everything at one time. This is my performance year to date. And as you can see, my actively traded portfolio is up 15.8%. I think it peaked around 18% earlier this week, but we had a pullback yesterday. So right now 15.8%, and my passively invested portfolio is currently 2.9%. So my actively portfolio is beating my passively invested portfolio by almost 13 percentage points. And if you would accumulate both of these portfolios in one, the total portfolio performance is almost 9.4%. I've been doing this now for 171 days, which is almost 6 months. And the total portfolio value is around 65,633 Swedish kronor, which is about $6,900, depending on the exchange rate of the day. If we would look at a month-to-month perspective, we can see that we have had quite the volatility both in the actively traded portfolio, but also in the global index. The global index, actually, when I started, it just kept going down, -2, -8, -9. And now the past 3 months, we have had a move to the upside. And total, we are at least back from the drawdown. For the actively traded portfolio, I had a really good start. I had one very successful trade. So the first month I had a plus 17%. Unfortunately, the portfolio was super tiny, so it doesn't really matter. But the past 3 months now, I've had a continuous move to the upside with around 9-10% every month. But accumulated, we have about 16% profit. And if you look at a graph format, we can see that this increase to the upside here, this is mainly driven by my deposits, to be honest. But now you can start to see how the actively traded portfolio is outperforming. So it will be very interesting to see what this graph will look like in the next coming months, quarters, and years. Currently, I am in 4 positions. I recently took profit on a few different trades. I have a cash position of 42% ready to deploy. And I'm currently, my biggest position right now is the Novo Nordic, which is the listing the home listing in Denmark. I'm also in Intel, INTC, and then I have 2 smaller positions in PYPL and OSCR, Oscar Health. So let's say I have 20% of the portfolio allocated in Novo Nordic, but I'm actually risking 4% of my portfolio in that trade. And as you can see here, for the Novo Nordic, I have an entry level of 460. I have a stop loss at 380. I'm currently in a drawdown, and with the number of shares I have on this account, my risk is 4% of my portfolio. So it's really important to distinguish between the portfolio allocation and the risk per trade. This dashboard here is also available on my website. I will add a link to this dashboard in the description below, and you're free to have a look. You can also copy paste if you want to build your own. That's just fine. These are the trades that I've taken so far. So 4 is open and the rest are closed. And I've had 3 trades which I ended up closing in a drawdown. And some of these trades, for example, the Alibaba, the CRSP, and also the TSLA, those are actually some of the really good trades that have helped building the portfolio. So this is the TSLA or Tesla trade that I took earlier this year. And as you can see here, I longed around $269, and then I rode that up all the way to $360, and this was actually a very good trade. Ended up 38% on that position. And if I would show, this is the Alibaba trade. So this is the second trade I took. It was a very good trade, not monetarily, since the portfolio was so small, but I really enjoyed being in this trade. And as you can see here, I entered here at $85.5, and I took the first profit at $108, and then I closed it completely at $126. Now we are actually also moving further down, so I'm actually looking to open a new position, but I will look into that in a different video. This is my CRSP. This is for sure the best trade I've had so far, and I've been in this trade for more than 126 days. I originally longed, when was this? This was 25th of February. And then I added a couple of times, and then ultimately I started to take profit on this swing to the upside, and I closed it at $59 earlier this week. Very, very good trade. The dashboard that I have here, this dashboard is of course available on my website. I try to keep it as up to date, so every time I make any changes to the portfolio, I will update this one. I also keep all of my buy and sell posts that I share on X and Twitter. I keep the historian month to month, and also of course the realized trades here. So yeah, feel free to have a look. It's open. What is next here? So my goals for the next coming weeks, month, quarter, and years is just to keep adding deposits every month. I'm really looking forward to see where this portfolio and where this experiment will take me as a trader. And I hope that I can also inspire and learn more about how you are learning or how you are improving your trading methodology. Are you working on a similar experiment, or do you have other ways of tracking your performance? Let me know in the comment section below what you're working on. I would love to know what you're doing, so maybe I can learn something, and vice versa. And for sure, if not already mentioned in this video, this is not financial advice. I'm just someone who likes and enjoy sharing my journey as a trader with other like-minded people. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you see value in the content that I'm putting out, please add a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you.